So, Mayor Shackelford, how does it feel being the first female mayor of Little Rock?
The feeling there is just that, okay, this is something that I too can do. And I wanted to run for it. And at that time, the entire city would get involved in the election of the mayor, even though the city board was going to be the ones to cast the actual votes. Okay. But when I was running, I said, I never had so many breakfast, lunches, and dinners with various folk, and particularly the business community. It was a very interesting time.
So, did you ever face any discrimination for being the first female black mayor of the city? And if so, how did you deal with that?
So, for Little Rock to have a black woman as mayor, this was something that the whole world took note of. Just thinking back at that time, though, in our history, 1987, as it relates to black folk in this country, we still were not at parity. Heck, here in 2024, we're still not at parity. So some folk would come in and maybe they had heard that Little Rock had a black mayor, or maybe they had heard that Little Rock had a woman mayor. What they hadn't put together that they had a black woman mayor, you know, there was one or the other. And there were times when folk would come into the office and really do a physical double take, you know? So I experienced that, and in city board meetings, there were times when, and I credit this a lot to nervousness of the person coming before the city board. And you know, at that time, we were sitting in the boardroom, so you were elevated up, and there was a podium down, and they're looking up and all. And so they were just so accustomed to saying, Mr. Mayor, and they would be looking straight at me and say, Mr. Mayor. You know, and sometimes I would just ignore it, well, the majority of the time. Every now and then you just felt like having a little fun, and you know, sometimes I say, now if you say Mr. Mayor one more time, you know, something like that. But it just showed you how people are in their patterns and their mindset and all, you know. So back in the 80s, we still had a long way to go.
So you just mentioned that back in the 80s, you know, all of us here in Central Arkansas had a long way to go. It's 2004 now. Are things better now? Are we there yet, or do we still have a lot more room to grow?
Well, we're certainly not there yet. I am so pleased that we now have a black man who's now been elected twice as mayor of the city of Little Rock. If I just take others, I mean, we have a black woman who's has been elected twice now as the county clerk for Pulaski County. We have a black man who's been elected twice now as a sheriff for Pulaski County. But are we there yet? No. There's still a lot of room for us to grow. Why? Because here in 2024, we're still having too many firsts. It's still, we're having the first black to do this or the first black to do that. You're still having far too many, or you're still having people raising the question, will that person be accepted? You know? And it's not just here in Arkansas, it's across the country.
So, Mayor Shackelford, what are you the most proud of throughout your life or throughout your political career that you've been able to accomplish?
Well, I just don't. I don't focus in on any one thing because I say as long as I'm living and breathing and the good Lord gives me reasonable health and reasonable sanity, then I still need to keep going. So maybe that most important thing is still yet to come. I don't know. I just want to be able to feel and move with God's grace, and to do the best I can when I can, every day I can.
What are your hopes for the city of Little Rock and Central Arkansas and the state going forward?
Well, my hopes, not only for the city of Little Rock, but for this nation and for this world, is that we truly can go forward in a way that's pleasing to the Lord, number one, and secondly, in a way that respects human life in all endeavors and allows us the opportunity to have a place where youngsters can still have hope and look forward to a brighter future.
Well, Mayor Shackelford, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for all that you've done for the city and for the state and for this nation. And because of people like yourself, youngsters like myself, we can do, and we will do.
And you are doing.
Yes, ma'am.
And we thank you.